Hi everyone, this is Jana from English Buff, and today we are looking with you at grammar, specifically conditional sentences. This topic is considered to be one of the hardest for English learners, as it has so many rules and so many exceptions to the rules. But we will try to take a look at all of them today, and I will do my best to make it crystal clear, short and interesting. So if you want to know all the ins and outs of conditionals, watch it up to the end. As you probably know, there are three types of conditionals. Well, actually four if we include zero conditional. These are zero conditional, first conditional, third conditional. Oh, I forgot the second one, sure. Second and third conditional. But don't forget to include mixed conditionals as well, because they are a bit confusing in comparison with their ordinary rules. People get fat when they eat a lot. If you touch a fire, you get burned. If babies are hungry, they cry. We use zero conditional when we are talking about general truth. This is the situation in which one thing causes another thing. People eat, they get fat. You touch a fire, you get burned. Babies are hungry, they cry. So one situation causes another situation to happen. How to make it? Pretty simple. We use if or when, present simple, plus one more present simple. Let's take a look at the example.
Anyone who's single would tell you the same thing, even the dumbest single person alive. And if you don't believe me, call him.
Lily says, and if you don't believe me, call him. So, if you don't believe me, if plus present simple, call him. Imperative, but again in present simple. If it rains, I won't go outside today. If I study well, I will go to the party. If I have enough time, I will buy some new shoes. All these sentences refer to the first conditional. What is the first conditional? This is when you want to talk about present or future situation which is possible or likely to happen in the future or in the present. Of course, we cannot predict our future, but we can take a guess, or we can just trust or hope that it will happen like that. How we form it? We have if or when plus present simple, and in the second part of the sentence we use will plus infinitive.
Fuller, you have a choice. You can step aside or you can fight me. If that's how you want to go, I warn you, I will go dark side, okay?
If that's how you want to go, I warn you, I will go dark side. The first one that starts with if has present simple, and the second part has will plus infinitive. What is the difference between zero conditional and first conditional? Let's take a look at two sentences. If you sit in the sun, you get burned. If you sit in the sun, you will get burned. So here I mean that it can happen with any person because this is the consequence of such a situation. Here I mean exactly you and something that's gonna happen with you today. Another day may be different and there may be a different person, but I'm talking specifically about you and the situation that is happening right now. If I were rich, I would buy a house. If I were you, I would forgive him. If I met the Queen of England, I would say hello. All these sentences belong to the second conditional. What is second conditional? This is when we are talking about imaginary future or present situation that is really unlikely to happen because it's unrealistic. Firstly, because I am not rich, I am not you, and there is little likelihood I can meet the Queen of England. How we form it? We use if plus past simple and would plus infinitive. Let's take a look at the movie example.
It's okay. Really? Because your good friend is now marrying your ex-boyfriend. I mean, if I were you, I would hate them both.
If I were you, I would hate them both. Pay attention that you can say if I were you or if I was you, depending on what English you are learning. If it's American, if I was you. If it's British, if I were you. We use this structure to talk about some kind of advice that you would like to give to another person. So, if I were you, I would hate them both. But I'm not you, so this is something that I imagine and it's, well, definitely unlikely to happen. Now, let's take a look at the difference between first conditional and second conditional. Let's see two sentences. If I have enough money, I will buy some new shoes. If I had enough money, I would buy a house with a huge swimming pool. So, well, to be honest, this situation is more likely to happen than this one, because I'm not a millionaire. That's why this is imagination and this is reality. She wouldn't have been so tired if she had gone to bed earlier. If he had studied better, he would have passed his exam successfully. If she hadn't eaten so much yesterday, she wouldn't have felt sick. Which conditional is that? Definitely third. We use the third conditional when we want to imagine a different past. Why do we do that? Because we are not satisfied with what has already happened and we want to change it. This is really connected with regret. I regret that something has happened or hasn't happened the way I wanted it to happen. This is how we make it. If plus past perfect, this is one part of the sentence, and would have plus past participle.
Are you interested in physics?
I find it fascinating. If I hadn't gone into microbiology, I probably would have gone into physics or ice dancing.
Bernadette says, if I hadn't gone into microbiology, I probably would have gone into physics. This is definitely something that can't be changed. This is imaginary past. Something that she has already chosen, and this is something that she considers might have happened if not. So what is the difference between the second and the third conditionals? We use second conditional when we talk about present or future imaginary situation, something that is unlikely to happen now or in the future. Third conditional we use to talk about imaginary past situation, something that cannot be changed. Let's take a look at two examples. If I had enough money, I would buy a house. If I had had enough money, I would have bought a house. This is imaginary situation because I don't have enough money, so I won't buy a house, definitely. But there is still a hope because I'm talking about present and future, and everything can change any day. This is something that cannot be changed because this is imaginary past. I regret it, but I cannot do anything to change the situation. Well, and the most interesting, Mixed conditionals. Why do we need them and when to use them and what exactly the mixed conditional is? Let's take a look. We use mixed conditionals when we want to mix or combine different types of conditionals together. The first way how we can do it is to combine third and second conditionals. Let's take a look at two examples. If I won a lottery, I would be rich. Second conditional, imaginary present or future situation. If I had won a lottery, I would have been rich. Third conditional, which is imaginary past situation. We can mix them together and we will get, if I had won a lottery, I would be rich. So I didn't win the lottery in the past. That means that I am not rich right now. Why do we use it? To have a past condition and present result. Past condition, if I had won a lottery. Present result, I would be rich. So we take one part from third conditional, if plus past perfect, and another part we take from the second conditional, would plus infinitive. It can be also reversed. We can have present condition and past result. Let's take a look at the examples. If he knew English better, he would pass TOEFL exam. Unreal future. If he had known English better, he would have passed TOEFL exam. Unreal past. Well, he didn't pass TOEFL successfully. And we can mix them up. If he knew English better, he would have passed TOEFL exam. So we have real condition. Yes, it means that he doesn't know English well. And we have past result. It means that he hadn't passed TOEFL successfully. This is what we get from this mix. So we take condition part from the second conditional, if plus past simple, and the result part from the third conditional, would have plus past participle. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it wasn't too long. Write me in comments if everything was clear for you. If not, ask me any additional questions that you have. See you next time. Bye-bye.